Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes. Summary: Flowers for Algernon is a science fiction novel by Daniel Keyes, published in 1966, that follows Charlie Gordon, a man with an intellectual disability who undergoes an experimental surgery to dramatically increase his intelligence. Told through a series of progress reports written by Charlie himself, the novel explores themes of identity, intelligence, loneliness, and the ethical implications of scientific experimentation. Charlie's journey from innocence to enlightenment and back captures the complexities of human nature, highlighting both the joys and pains of self-awareness. Plot summary. 1. Charlie's life before the surgery. The novel begins with Charlie Gordon, a 32-year-old man with an IQ of 68 who works as a janitor at a bakery and attends night classes for adults with learning difficulties. Eager to learn and get smart, Charlie is selected for an experimental surgery aimed at significantly increasing his intelligence. His teacher, Alice Kenyon, recognizes Charlie's genuine desire to improve and recommends him for the procedure. Charlie's childlike innocence and optimism shine through his progress reports, written in simple, ungrammatical language that reflects his limited intellectual ability. 2. The experimental surgery and initial changes. Charlie undergoes the experimental surgery, which has already been tested successfully on a lab mouse named Algernon. Algernon, who becomes a symbol of Charlie's own journey, is able to navigate mazes with ease following the procedure, offering hope for Charlie's transformation. Initially, Charlie sees gradual improvements in his cognitive abilities, as his spelling, vocabulary, and comprehension begin to improve. He forms a bond with Algernon, viewing him as a companion and source of inspiration as they both undergo the experiment. 3. Rapid growth in intelligence and self-awareness. Charlie's intelligence quickly surpasses that of an average person, transforming him from a struggling learner to a brilliant intellectual. As he becomes more self-aware, Charlie realizes that his co-workers at the bakery, whom he considered friends, had often mocked him, taking advantage of his innocence for their amusement. This newfound understanding deeply hurts Charlie, as he grapples with feelings of isolation and betrayal. His relationship with Alice also grows complex, as his rapid intellectual growth creates tension and emotional distance between them. 4. Exploring past trauma and relationships. As Charlie's intelligence peaks, he begins exploring suppressed memories of his childhood, confronting painful memories of his family. He recalls the trauma inflicted by his mother, Rose, who rejected him for his disability and tried to cure him, often becoming abusive. His father, Matt, was more sympathetic but ultimately powerless to protect him. These memories reveal Charlie's struggle for acceptance and love, driving his determination to gain intelligence and finally achieve the recognition he has longed for. 5. Charlie's intellectual peak and emotional struggles. At the height of his intelligence, Charlie becomes an intellectual giant, capable of understanding advanced concepts and contributing to scientific discussions. However, his increased intelligence isolates him further from those around him, as he finds it challenging to connect emotionally. He realizes that intelligence does not automatically bring happiness or fulfillment and feels increasingly detached from others. His relationship with Alice becomes strained, as she finds it hard to relate to the person he has become, despite his affection for her. 6. The decline and Algernon's downfall. As Charlie's intelligence peaks, he discovers disturbing signs of decline in Algernon's behavior, marking the beginning of the end for the experiment's effects. Algernon becomes erratic and loses his cognitive abilities, eventually dying. Realizing he will suffer the same fate, Charlie is devastated, knowing that his mind will regress to its original state. Determined to leave a legacy, he devotes his remaining time to studying the experiment, attempting to understand and document the inevitable deterioration that awaits him. 7. Charlie's return to his original state and final reflections. As his mental abilities fade, Charlie's progress reports reflect his regression, returning to simpler language and thoughts. Despite his loss, Charlie has gained valuable insights about human nature, relationships, and the importance of kindness and empathy. He decides to leave New York and move to a state-funded home, as he does not want those who care about him to witness his decline. In his final act of dignity, He requests that flowers be left on Algernon's grave, symbolizing his journey and the transient nature of intelligence and identity. Key themes. 1. The nature of intelligence and identity. The novel raises questions about the role of intelligence in defining a person's identity and value. Charlie's transformation highlights how intelligence affects his relationships and sense of self, showing that intellectual growth alone does not lead to fulfillment or emotional connection. 2. The ethical implications of scientific experimentation. Through Charlie's experience, Keyes explores the ethics of using humans in experimental procedures. The novel questions the responsibilities of scientists and the potential harm of experimentation on vulnerable individuals, highlighting the need for compassion and ethical boundaries. 3. Alienation and loneliness. As Charlie's intelligence grows, so does his sense of isolation. His increased self-awareness and intelligence separate him from others, leaving him trapped between two worlds, his past and his present, without a sense of belonging in either. The novel shows that true connection relies on understanding and compassion, not merely intelligence. 4. Acceptance and the desire for love. Charlie's journey is driven by his longing for acceptance and love, both from himself and others. His relationships with Alice, his family, and his friends reveal his deep need for validation, which he learns cannot be fulfilled by intelligence alone. The novel suggests that self-worth and acceptance are essential for emotional well-being. Conclusion. Flowers for Algernon by Daniel Keyes is a poignant exploration of intelligence, self-worth, and human connection. Through Charlie's journey from innocence to enlightenment and back, Keyes delves into the complexities of personal growth and the costs of scientific ambition. The novel raises powerful ethical questions while highlighting the importance of compassion and the human desire for acceptance. Ultimately, Flowers for Algernon is a meditation on the fragility of identity and the transient nature of human experience.